I guess you could think of this as my first assignment as an agent, as today I share my first impressions on Hitman World of Assassination Signature Edition for the Nintendo Switch 2. So get your gear ready and let's sneak our way in. Now, I was skeptical of this collection as it is not a brand new game and it is just a port of the three Hitman games, but for the price you do get a lot of content here. You have the campaign of the three Hitman games, each consisting of levels with multiple ways you can complete them using various tasks, weapons, disguises, etc., which will help you on your mission to assassinate the given targets. Each level will also contain some mini stories you can track down, which will contain hidden details that you can use to your advantage, such as taking the place of an in-game character and use that disguise to get a private meeting with your target for an up-close assassination that is very well unexpected. The game will also grade you on how well you do in each mission, making sure you don't kill any NPC who is not a target, and how much of the level you explore and what route you take to complete your assassinations, as you can go through these levels multiple times and use different tactics and different methods to complete them. You are also able to adjust your setup before each mission, and as you unlock new items, you unlock different ways to play the levels, which does give you more replay value, having different weapons available at the start, having different weapons and items kind of stored away hidden for you to find and use that in your missions as you of course unlock these different items as you progress through the game. Now, these levels can also be fairly challenging as you want to aim for being the best stealthy assassin you can without causing any unnecessary casualties and not having anyone notice your crimes, and some of these targets are going to be surrounded by a lot of NPCs, so trying to complete your assassination without any witnesses does add more to the challenge. Now, when it comes to these levels with multiple NPCs throughout the level, the Nintendo Switch 2 handles it very well. I didn't see a lot of drops in frame rate or performance playing both on my monitor and both in handheld, so the game does run very smoothly. It also looks very great in both handheld and on a TV or a monitor, so you do have that great performance, that great visuals, and of course the great audio, as you need to hear different conversations and hear what the environment has around you, so you can get around these levels without being seen by your enemies. Now, in addition to the campaign, you also have access to different game modes like contracts that you can create to have different assassinations set up for different challenges. You have a freelancer mode, which is a roguelike option where you can build your own base and complete contracts one after the other, but failing a contract will force you to restart from the beginning. You have arcade mode and you have sniper assassin, and you also have some live special events that will come out temporarily. The current one that IO Interactive released is connected to the 007 game that was recently announced, so you do have some specific live events that you can play temporarily that will come out here and there. Hopefully we will get more of those events as the 007 game releases as well. You also have a bunch of side missions you can play that's separate from the campaign, but they do say it's better to play most of the campaign first before you do the side missions to avoid some possible spoilers, I guess, or avoid seeing the levels before playing them in the campaign. So a lot of modes you can play in the game. And as I said earlier, the game does look great in any option you play, handheld or undocked. It does sound great. It performs very well, so you're not going to have a lot of issues there when it comes to the performance. Unfortunately, you do have some issues with bugs and crashes. There are some minor bugs that won't break the game necessarily. You may have to restart the whole level or load a save from the level, because the game does save pretty frequently. So rather than restart an entire level from failure or from a bug, you can probably load a save from just a few minutes before, not losing too much content. But you also have some major crashes. I had the game freeze on me a few times, and I also had the game just crash entirely, having me lose my progress that I were doing and had to reopen the game again. And one instance, I also had the Nintendo Switch itself crash with a gray screen from the game, and I had to do a hard shutdown and power back on to fix the issue, but it's not fixed entirely. It's just a temporarily fix. So the game does need a patch as soon as possible, because these are pretty much unacceptable for a game of this age and for a console this quote-unquote powerful. Now, the game does also rely pretty heavily on internet connection, but not to play the game, more so to just share your progress, share how you handle the levels and your rank, that kind of thing. So you don't need the internet connection to play the game at all. Now, it is a game key card, and it's not the end of the world. A lot of people will tell you that game key cards are horrible and it's a bad idea. But if you think of it this way, any game you play on PlayStation or Xbox, when you put the disc in the console, you have to download the data to your internal SSD or your external SSD anyway. And game key cards for Nintendo are essentially the same idea, but with Nintendo branding and Nintendo wording. So not the end of the world. You can still play the game without internet. You got to download it because it's a 4K console now, and you got to have that extra time for the data to be put in. So to each their own. So overall with this game, I got to say that you do get a lot, and I mean a lot of content for the price. You get a lot of bang for your buck. You have a lot of missions with a lot of replay value, a lot of story here, really great cutscenes in between missions to help tell you the story going forward. And I do wish that they do patch out these issues because the game is a lot of fun. It is very exciting to play the game in different ways. I didn't get mad as often when I had to restart due to my failures because it made me want to be a better assassin and try things differently. But it's these bugs and crashes that ruin it for me for now. But hopefully it gets patched out very soon because I think the game is worth the money for all the content you get. And that's my video for the Hitman World of Assassination Signature Edition. That's a really long title, I know, for the Nintendo Switch 2. But let me know in the comments down below what you think about this game and this collection. Are you going to pick it up? Are you staying away from it? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.